हमारे वक्त की धड़कन, हमारा चिंतन, हमारी भावनाएं, हमारे विचार, कभी कोमल बातचीत तो कभी इंटरेक्शन तेज तर्रार। तय करें मिलकर व्हाट इज रॉन्ग, व्हाट इज राइट। ITV पर अशोक व्यास के साथ इनसाइट टुनाइट। Namaskar. Welcome to Insight Tonight with Ashok Vyas. Today's insight is be one with light. Light makes us bright. And in today's show, we are talking about the brightness of brilliance. Brilliance that connects us with our top performance. When we offer that which is our best to the world, it makes us feel good. It makes us happy. When we are happy and full of joy, it attracts success. When we enjoy what we do, it becomes natural to focus. And when we are focused, we connect with our goals in a unique way. When that happens, we add to the total glory of the world in a distinct and positive way. Well, world admires people who offer their best to their chosen work. Tell me, who do you admire most? Well, it's a very interesting question, and people whom we admire becomes our role models in some way. Either they upheld the values that we cherish, and their personality helps us in imbibing positive values. A survey was conducted by YouGov for Times, covering 13 countries and connecting with nearly 14,000 people. Based on this survey, the list of 30 most admired people on the planet was released last week. Wonderful. And ninth place in this list is occupied by someone whom you know very well from India. But before we talk about Big B, we will be talking about other names from this list, and you will have the opportunity to share who do you admire most down the line. Well, Bill Gates is number one in the list of 30 most admired people on the planet. Interestingly, last year, he was on record the richest person on the planet too. His net worth, $72 billion. He co-chairs Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He's a self-made man, and source of his wealth is, of course, Microsoft. Well, having introduced the most admired individual on the planet, let me have the pleasure of introducing someone who is right now here with me in the studio, and also I'll be introducing to someone who is with me on phone. So first, here we have Narayan Kataria ji, social activist and founder of Indo-American Intellectual Forum.
Yes.
And also on phone, I have Amrutar Srinivasan ji. Srinivasan ji, welcome. Namaskar. You are an engineer, a scholar, a Hindu priest, and author of several important books, including your latest one, which has very interesting title. It is Hinduism for Dummies. Am I right?
That is correct. Dummies, of course, is a brand name. It doesn't quite really mean that it is meant only for dummies.
I'm glad to hear that, so I won't feel sort of reluctant in picking it up. So they maybe in some way working in a fashion that encourages us to take away our ego while learning. Is it correct to interpret it like that, Shrinuji?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think your introduction was excellent to the results of this survey that you mentioned earlier.
Okay, so now taking the advantage of your presence, and as you know, the first person in this list is Bill Gates, who of course is known as an entrepreneur, and the 30th number in this list is Ratan Tata from India, who is also known for his entrepreneur acumen. So, कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगता है people who are very rich are they most admired. So, Amrutar ji, what would you say is that?
You know, actually, you see, it's kind of fascinating, Ashok ji, because Bill Gates, having been recognized as number one by those who were surveyed, in a way, actually he transcends political leaders such as President Obama and President Putin, and also the most famous, well-known religious leader, Pope Francis. It's fascinating because he transcends both those categories, political and religious.
Absolutely.
And of course, as you mentioned in your introduction, he's an entrepreneur, Bill Gates. And as we know from our own philosophy, it is not at all uncommon for people to recognize and admire successful people. And without question, Bill Gates, even though he grew up in modest environment, he succeeded in his own profession. And
I'm tempted to interrupt you.
Not at all, please.
Yeah, and I just remember that he's a dropout. Basically, he didn't finish what he started
Correct, yes.
as his academic pursuit. So many people look at it as a sort of concluding way that studying formally is not really important. Would you say it's a right conclusion? Because there are many other such examples, those who were studying and then they dropped from what they were doing and started pursuing their dreams.
Well, the thing is, as we grow up, we receive influences from a large number of parameters, parents, neighbors, friends, and the community, the country. So the influences are there, and of course the formal education, I would say, is important, but clearly there are brilliant examples like Gates where, one cannot really say it's mandatory. So that's probably all I would like to say about that. And continuing on to the reason why, at least I think he made it number one, is we talked about success. The other thing is, if you look at him or his picture, you cannot escape from recognizing a certain sense of humility in his demeanor, if you like. And so it kind of, to me anyway, it's some of the pictures, for example, whenever I see Swami Vivekananda with his Dharma Danda in his right hand, it sends an electric charge in me and inspires me and makes me feel more confident. In a similar way, when I look at Bill Gates, his picture, it kind of projects a sense of compassion. And I think that affects it. I should think that influences people in making a decision as to who they love most. And
okay, here I again interrupt you, sort of to second what you just said, and we definitely need such faces. When we look at them, we feel like doing something good and noble. But at the same time, the kind of psychological environment which we are creating collectively across the globe, beyond the boundaries of any nation, the competitive spirit that we have, and everybody is running after money, that's the kind of understanding we gather as we grow up. And kids, while growing up, think that making themselves monetarily comfortable is the prime aim of life. Now, taking a cue from this, in your presence, as you know, he founded Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and he has also been instrumental in inspiring other millionaires and billionaires to see beyond their limited sense of accomplishments as individuals. So tell me, what do you think might have been the deciding factor for him to see beyond being just an entrepreneur, and where one gets this kind of compassionate approach towards the world?
Well, that is, I think you set it up very nicely, Ashokji, and friends who are listening to this. You see, I believe that we all have in us really a sense of connection with the rest of the humanity, which, as you pointed out, could transcend national boundaries. There is that basic belief in each human being. Now, the extent of it varies from individual to individual. In Bill Gates' case, I should think that his desire to share, because you see, one has to have that belief that helping to to uplift a large number of people in need will, in the long run, help the entire society. One has got to believe that. That's a fundamental belief. When once you have that, and I believe he had that the fundamental belief, and so that is I think the fundamental reason why he has done what he has done.
And echoing what you are saying, Mruthoji, I think what we should probably appreciate through Bill Gates is flexibility that he has, and the kind of openness with which he embraces various sides of life. So I saw some of the images of the place where he lives,
right,
and how sort of wonderful it is, and very well located,
yes,
all amenities there. And he told one reporter that he feels sometimes ashamed that he has all this. And he was mentioning in a different angle, he says that there are people who don't have this, and I have all this. And also I want to recollect with you some images from India where he went to villages, maybe in Rajasthan, sitting with illiterate women, or some kids who are kind of coming from those families where they don't probably have enough resources to dress properly and all that. But this guy is wherever he's very comfortable, whether he's with a king or with a pauper.
Well, that is a very interesting characteristic. First of all, if you have a few more seconds, I would like to say that this idea, the people, when they get that level of wealth, there is always a tendency to feel guilty. And in reality, the guilt feeling would have to disappear when they descend all the way down to the level where help is needed and they get involved in it in a personal manner. For example, Bill Gates could have easily identified there are in this country and around the world hundreds of philanthropic organizations, charitable organizations. He could have given them a few billions and sat back in his mansion as you described. But he didn't do it. That is where, when you have a fundamental belief, you would have to translate that into action. And that is the reason for him and his wife to get involved personally, to go to places where the need is. And of course, God has blessed him with all this wealth, so I personally anyway believe that he doesn't have to have any sense of guilt and enjoy what God has blessed him. You see, the thing is, Ashokji, that I'm passionate about our epic Mahabharata.
Yes.
And you see there, in the Yaksha Prashna episode, Yaksha asked Yudhishthira, Kim svideka padam yashaha? What in one word is success? That's the question asked by the Yaksha to Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira answers, Dhanam ekapadam yashaha. Charity, giving, sharing.
Wow.
That is success. So in his case, you see, he has been very fortunate. He has been successful, and he does what he does through this foundation, and it brings back success. That is the beauty of it. And so I think we are obviously the whole world where he has touched their lives. I'm pretty sure they are grateful to him.
Absolutely. And Amrutaji, I recollect in your presence once again with some of our viewers who probably might have joined us a little late that we're talking about the 30 most admired individuals in the planet based on a survey conducted by 4 times by YouGov, wherein they contacted over 14,000 people across 13 countries. That, of course, included America, Australia, Great Britain, India, Pakistan, Brazil, and some other nations as well. And the number one in this list is Bill Gates, and that's why we're talking about him. And before I let you go, Amrutaji, one more thing which I find very interesting, relevant, and fascinating about Bill Gates is he identified the areas where he felt the change is required. And rather than sitting and lamenting about it, he started finding ways to do something about it. For example, polio eradication, and then through their foundation, they are also helping other charitable organizations, other non-profit organizations. So, share your thoughts on the source of this inspiration, where one is not sitting down thinking that it is an impossible task and trying to do whatever they can do.
Well, you see, remember his background as an entrepreneur. He built an organization. He succeeded in it. He brought products that millions of people could use, could afford. So there is that background. And the thing that is fascinating is that when you get that successful, and as you know, thousands, if not millions around the world do indeed succeed, thank God. But not all of them have this the fundamental belief. You see, I really think that one has to believe that uplifting, helping to bring people up so that they can lead a decent life in the long run must benefit the total society. When once you have that strong belief, then you have to find ways in which you can translate that belief into action, and Gates has been tremendously successful in doing that. And that, I think, is the basis for success, breeding success again.
Wonderful. I appreciate your presence with us. And before I let you go, I want to thank you profusely. And also, I want to ask you, in your opinion, personally, I am sure you were not approached by people who are conducting this survey. If you were asked the same question to name top 2-3 individuals whom you admire most on the planet, what would be your answer?
Well, I suppose I looked at the list and it looks like they were talking about those who are living. Of course, my spiritual hero is Swami Vivekananda, but among the living, you know, if I was given a wider choice, which I think was, I really honestly would have, because of what I've been reading more recently about the tremendous change in the philosophy of Catholic society, I would probably have chosen Pope Francis.
Wonderful, wonderful. So at least that name is there in the list. Probably he is fourth or something.
I think
so. Yeah, his name is fourth, absolutely.
Fourth, yeah, I know
yes,
that.
Yes. Very good, very good.
And of course, Gates has been around much longer as a philanthropist, as an entrepreneur, than the Pope, who, of course, recently became the Pope. You know, so.
Wonderful. So lots of good wishes to you, and hope we'll be taking advantage of your knowledge and wisdom for this show down the line. Once again, my guest on telephone with me, Amruta Srinivasanji, Dr. Amruta Srinivasanji, who has written many books, and the latest edition in that series is Hinduism for Dummies. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Ashokji. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
So that was Amruta Srinivasanji. We were talking mainly about Bill Gates, and before we move further, when we'll be talking, of course, about Narendra Modi, who also happens to be on the 7th number in the list. And if I may mention, 5th number is Sachin Tendulkar. And then on 9th number is Amitabh Bachchan. So next segment, we'll talk about Amitabh Bachchan, and then we'll talk about Narendra Modi. And my guest in the studio, as I mentioned earlier, Narayan Kataria ji, is probably more passionate about Narendra Modi. So we'll talk what is it that he finds is worth admiring in this prime ministerial candidate of Bharatiya Janata Party. So we move towards this first break, and we'll be right back.